Hey, here's Princeps. Well, I'm Princeps. Here he is. Hi, Princeps. And today it's an update video. It's about 11 p.m. I'm tired. But I'm just gonna get this started. So I'm gonna use one of my clients who is also like a really close partner in some of the things that we're working on here. And what I'm demonstrating here is a platform called Poly. For those who don't know, Poly is a platform that allows you to create automations for your businesses simply by simple means of point and click. And what we're going to demonstrate in this video is how we go about creating a company profile. Now, I did just kind of hop into this. So what I'm probably going to do, I'm going to start this over. And so I'm actually going to like log out and log in and get started with that. So when you get into Poly, you're going to use either Google and Facebook. Those are the first ones that we're really going to support here. I am a one-man show, and so I'm, kind of building this by myself, and I need to do other work. And so that's not something you should have been seeing. Let me actually pull this up, see what's going on. Okay, let's see. So that's that video. A new video. Anyways, so we had already started creating a company, and you'll actually see it. So once you log into Poly, you're gonna see this dashboard, and this dashboard will show you the tasks. It'll show you Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, and research. Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp will all be populated from the accounts that you have. And there's something broken here that I need to fix. But for the most part, that's not what I'm here to show you. So you're gonna go up here to the Poly Hub, and you're gonna go into Create Company, and then you're gonna. I think currently right now it is trying to create the company for Nutrient. So we'd already kind of started this process with Nutrient, and then I logged out, and then I logged back in. But you can see here that it pops up a new browser, and the reason why it actually is doing this is because we had Bing, the Bing API from Azure, but they're discontinuing it for like Bing, like I don't know, some Bing version. I can remember it. Let me just, I'll drink some water. But my whole point is that we weren't able to redeploy it, like redeploy the Bing API. And when I tried to redeploy another version of it, it just kind of gave me shit. And honestly, I just at this point I was just like, nah, look, we're just gonna work on this. So recently I gained new skills, which one of them is browser use. So this is browser use. So it's an AI that is basically using the browser to do things. You can imagine it doing things like logging in, helping you set up different workflows on your N8N, really giving it tasks. And the next thing I really want to test with this is giving it tasks and having it do things on my behalf. Like, for example, this might get me banned, but like going into communities and engaging with people on my behalf as me, and just kind of giving feedback, giving people information and helping them, right? Because I don't think any community or any person would really be angry. I mean, I guess it's an AI impersonating a human, but I gave that AI permission to impersonate me. That's a whole philosophical thing about these, which this is not the video for that. So basically, what it's doing is it's going through and it's like thinking about the company profile. You'll actually see it pop up the browser again, and when it will pop up the browser again, or not, or or not, just give me a second. Maybe it created the company. Oh, seems like it created the company. So here it creates a company. So here you should see that I have Nutrient. I think I have, yeah. Oh, no. Let's reload this. It should have shown Nutrient right there. It created a company. I don't see why it wouldn't. Okay, anyways, let's try a different company. So I'm going to try another client of mine, also some part of our beta. So it is trying to create the company, but it's having some issues. Hmm. All right, I guess we can just start a new company so you can actually see this pop in. I wonder if it's gonna do it like at the same time, right? Because like we started one and then it's running. And then let's remove this. Let's add this, and then let's let's run it. So this one is going to run with IV Columbia, right? And so what we expect it to do, so the first thing it's going to do is going to scrape the website. And once it's done scraping the website, it's going to use the information it finds from scraping the website to then go like do research using the browser to understand that company more, right? So we're going to look at, the social media. We're going to look at maybe some of their competitors. We're going to look at their market so we can understand some of the KPIs. We're going to do some more research to understand their services, product or the project that they're working on. And so basically, I think browser use is an improvement over Bing API for our platform, specifically because it allows us to get to build upon that agentic experience a lot more, right? When we're using a API such as Tavily, I think Tavily is one people use a lot, which just kind of allows you to basically get API access there's some requests that maybe don't come through. I think having the AI use the browser for us, it gives us yes the information we want, but also secondly, it provides us with more emergent capabilities, right? So yes, I might be able to set up how, but I'm not going to be able to have it log into a platform and help answer questions, right? Or help do things on behalf of me as a user. And so I think the integration of browser use is really powerful for us because it allows us to be able to basically, yes, serve the first common denominator, where it is that we need to be able to research about companies and understand them. Workspaces also go through the same thing. The next video will be about workspaces. Workspaces are essentially spaces in which the digital workers do work. We don't say agents, we say digital workers because I think agents has been beat to death. And what we really want to define is these agents are digital workers. They do digital work. This is digital work. This is work that, for example, in last year or a few years ago, I'd hire a virtual assistant to be able to go ahead and do, right? Go research this company, create a company profile, and then let's do something with them, right? And what I really aim to do with this series is be able to kind of walk you through feature by feature as I build it or as I'm deploying it, and almost kind of serves as a good way for us to think of it as almost like tutorials, right? So I'm not really a Tavily. It's not sponsored by Tavily. It's more or less sponsored by Poly. And so here's some of the things I really want to improve here. One of the things is actually I want to improve creating your like this. It should show you the screenshots it's taking of the pages it's seeing. It should show you some of the thought processes it's having. I just haven't had the time to integrate all that stuff, to be honest with you. I think the goal has been a sprint to the shortest path to profitability, the shortest path to showing value. And once I think we are at a place where the platform has demonstrated value, my goal is to get users and maybe raise money, right? But if I don't have to raise money, I would be happy to not raise money. But if I have to raise money because I have to pay bills and more or less I've been sinking a lot of time and effort into this, then I'm gonna have to raise money, right? And so this is, this people do these series where it's like building in public. The series I've been doing is actually like day one. This would be like day 11. Between day 1 to day 11, you didn't really hear from me. Much of it was like me in the trenches fixing bugs. One of the things that I'm scatterbrained a little bit right now, but you can see that it did finish that and it did create that. Now, some of the things that are missing here are like the assets that it actually took. That we do have those screenshots. I do save them in like I think Azure Blob or something, and I do save those and I do have them like situated away from. I'm surprised Nutrient didn't come through. Yeah, that's weird because it should have. It should. It. Hmm. I think this is a caching issue because they're using the Zustand store and the cache is not showing. But yeah, so during these demos, I'm going to find out things like this and I'm going to probably go back and solve them. And so for this one, it was just that simple. You log in, you come in here, you paste. The reason why we want to create a company profile, I guess I should explain my rationale around this, is because we want to be able to anchor the workflows that we do to a specific company, to a specific like company and workspace. And I think a lot of automation platforms don't really do that. They don't take time to like understand what your company is, your business does, what the product is. And then, obviously a lot of companies, a lot of platforms also have like workspaces. So that's not like anything like special or new. For us, workspaces is a place really that we can add files, and it becomes the hub of where work is done for that company. A company can have multiple workspaces, but for the sake of simplicity, especially for early users, we have limited it to just one workspace per company. And maybe it'll be an add-on feature where you will pay for an extra workspace or et cetera, something like that. And also, there's some other things like scraping wouldn't really work when I'm going back to why we're using browser use and why this is actually really a much better alternative and a much better direction for us to do is become sometimes when we would try to scrape a website, we wouldn't really get the information from it. They'd have some anti-bot measures. This allows us to actually understand and see what the website is, and understand what the company is, and like go to their LinkedIn, their Instagram, and Facebook, and all those places, right? And so, my point with this is that we've integrated browser use. Poly is able to use the browser now to be able to create a company profile. But this feature, it will this feature is the basis for emergent features to come. For example, having it directly log in, do something, look for something periodically, right? So the browser use experience is going to be expanded upon a lot more. I do have some feature requests that I do have to do. I do have to finish specific things like DM receptionist. The reason why, if you're watching this and you're probably like, bro, you've been talking about DM receptionist for forever. Why is that not done? A, um, it's very expensive to have. No, it's expensive to build one of these things, to deploy it and have it, right? You got to imagine that this has to live on a server. We use like three different databases. Now, some people might say that's a bit complicated. Where are we gonna like? Are we just gonna use MongoDB? We could just use MongoDB for the images, for the videos that basically the screen recordings of the agent using this. We could use MongoDB for a vector store. We could use MongoDB for, I guess, storing large files. But I just kind of figured out that, this is, you might argue with me about the architecture we went with, but we do use different data sources and different data stores, depending on which one is the best at what, right? So MongoDB is a document-based, I think it's a NoSQL database. We also do use Postgres, and we do have a RAG database, for example. The agents actually save their memories in a RAG database. And so my point is that, yes, it's one person building this. Yes, it costs quite a bit to deploy this, right? If you're watching this and you're like, why hasn't the Instagram or the WhatsApp receptionist been created? It's because there's a specific way we want to do this in our platform. It's not just that we want the receptionist not to be connected to any aspect of your business, right? It's easy. Like I could set up an N8N right now. As a matter of fact, we have an N8N deployment, right? If I go to DuckDuckGo here, we have an N8N deployment, which actually does like that. I could just have a WhatsApp integration here that does the receptionist stuff. But where we'd have to have a commercial license with N8N. B, I find it a bit restrictive, and C, I want to be able to do something very specific. I have a design language I really want to go with. I think the next video I'm probably going to make is going to be a video about like how I'm doing, like how I came up with the design of this. A lot of it is like, it is the Vision Pro inspired. I see Apple now is actually doing things like, Apple is doing things where they're doing like glass morphism in their latest iPad design. I kind of think that they could improve it a little bit, honestly. I think that there's an aesthetics that they're trying to go for. I'm biased. I'm gonna say I did it better. Hmm and I do think I did it better. But I do think that glass morphism is the direction to go, right? So here's another company that I created as I rambled about why my design is better than Apple's. Although I was, I was inspired by Apple, so. But there you go. That's another way that we have created another business. So here you'll actually, I want to turn this into a bento box design actually. For those who don't know what bento box is, stay tuned for my video about the way I go about designing things. But this does bother me a lot that you know, as soon as like I have an idea that I'm like, okay, I know what I really want to do with this, and I, like it clicks in my head, and it's just like, it's right there. Um, when I see it not being like that, I'm usually like, oh, why is it not like that? So what I'm going to be doing forward is fix fix the caching issue first of all, right? Because the first refresh should have like refreshed everything. Fix the caching issue. And then next, probably tonight, because tonight I actually want to. We do have workspaces and workspaces. Oh yeah, we also switched from one library. We switched from Llama Index to now we do ADK. We also do have some places where we use AutoGen, but we do ADK, AutoGen, and Llama Index for libraries that we use for this. A lot of them are things I experimented with and I kind of put together and I put them into this. Um, and so, yeah, basically as I talk, I might as well just create a workspace for these guys. So wait, did it say we had a workspace? We'll just create a workspace for these guys. So the create instant workspace will also use browser use. But for the most part, that's it. That's all I have for you about the company feature and about the addition of a browser automation. I think that's really powerful and really cool. I will make probably the next video is probably going to be about like workspaces here. So I'm going to stay tuned. Stay tuned. Maybe, hopefully stay tuned for a workspace video. Stay tuned for a design language video because I do like this aesthetic and I do want to talk about why I'm doing this aesthetic and what my philosophy around that is. Just so that I can say that I did it first and so because I've been thinking of doing this for like for like a year. I was gonna say years. I'd be lying. But I've been doing this for like, for a year and I've actually like pulled this up and just show you like some screenshots. Because I've been like doing this for like some time. And part of these screenshots will show you like let me see. So this was the 11th of last month of last like year. So the design has come quite far. I think that's probably what that next video will be. That next video will be like really powerful for like me talking about like design and like all that. Like how the design has evolved, where am I taking the design, and what are some of the design tips I can give? Because I think with a lot of vibe coders, there's an aspect where your platform and your application will end up looking like everybody else's. So you can see here that okay, that's so that was the login page at some points. That was like trying to like find it. That's how it evolved. I remember that these ones were like, I hated that. This one looked kind of decent, but I was like, I don't like how those look. I think I eventually added like a glow effect. Let's see here. So yeah, stay tuned for like a video. Ooh, I remember the report card. Yo, stay tuned for a video about design because I can talk a lot about the design of this and how it's evolved, right? Like even these bars right here on the side, oh, those look good. I mean, they look good, but like I did end up moving away from that. They ended up actually becoming this. So you see this right here? This is what that ended up being. So like the design has evolved significantly, and I'm happy to share what I've learned, why I did specific designs versus others, and just kind of like walk you through some of the like failures, right? See there, I didn't like that. It looked kind of like yeah. So the AI would like force me to like try to force me to like ooh. That's when I started hitting it. You see that? See right there? That's what ooh. You see that floating action bar? Like we went from this to this right here, right? So you can see how like I use shadows really like quite a bit. The contrast between different elements is also really important. Yeah, you can see it like it grows, and so I think here I'm trying to explain to it like bring that to the bottom. And let's see how do I get that? Yeah, bring that to the bottom. I'm like saying, hey, we don't want extra space. Let's see here. So yeah, and then we went to like a smaller version. I'm like, yeah, bring it to the bottom. Yeah. So if you want to see how the ooh, that's what we got to. That should look nice. If you wanna kind of let me know in the comment section if you want me to like go through. I do like this look. This was like supposed to be our onboarding page, and I liked it because it was just kind of like so simple. And that's kind of the thing I'm going with here is like simplicity is like everything. Oh yeah, that was like some client stuff. This was me like doing the login page. Let's see here. This is the browser. This call it feature. Yeah. So and then here we have like a bunch of architecture stuff, diagrams about like how to set up an architecture. Here's some other ones if you want to copy those. Here's like I started designing an app. So like this was a language app that I was working on for a client. I'm gonna skip those. I'm gonna skip those. Let's see here. That was more code, more random stuff. Yeah, so stay tuned for like a design video. I think I'll probably like plan it out a lot more. But just for now, thank you for watching. Have a good day, and let's see if it finished creating the workspace. Have a good one.